Maya Rodriguez was having the worst day of her life, and that was saying something considering she'd been fired from her job as a marketing coordinator just 6 hours earlier. Now she stood outside the grand ballroom of the Westfield Hotel, clutching her phone and trying to work up the courage to call her best friend with the news that she was officially unemployed. The ornate doors behind her suddenly burst open, and a man in an expensive tuxedo practically collided with her as he rushed out. He was tall and broad-shouldered, with dark hair that looked like he'd been running his hands through it, and the kind of sharp jawline that belonged in magazine advertisements. "Sorry, excuse me," he muttered, then stopped abruptly when he saw her. His eyes, a striking shade of green, widened with what looked like relief. "Perfect. Excuse me." Maya took a step back, instinctively clutching her purse tighter. "I know this is going to sound crazy," the man said, glancing nervously at the ballroom doors, "but I need you to pretend to be my girlfriend for exactly 3 minutes. Maya stared at him. "I'm sorry, what?" 3 minutes, he repeated urgently. "Maybe less. I just need to get past my ex-fiancé and her family, without them cornering me about reconciliation. I'll pay you. You'll pay me to pretend to be your girlfriend. $500 for 3 minutes of your time." He pulled out his wallet and showed her a stack of bills that made her eyes widen. "All you have to do is hold my hand, smile, and let me introduce you as my girlfriend Maya." Maya's brain stuttered. "How do you know my name is Maya?" He pointed to the name tag still clipped to her blazer from the job interview she'd bombed earlier that day. "Lucky guess. So what do you say? Easy money, and you'd be saving me from what might be the most awkward conversation of my life." Maya looked at the money, then at the desperation in his green eyes, then at the notification on her phone screen reminding her that her rent was due in 3 days. "This isn't some weird human trafficking scheme, is it?" Despite his obvious panic, the man actually laughed. "No, I promise. I'm Alex Chen, and I'm just trying to avoid my ex-fiancé who's in there celebrating her sister's wedding. She's been texting me all week about closure and working things out. And you can't just tell her you're not interested. I've tried. She doesn't take no for an answer. But if she sees me with someone else, someone I'm clearly happy with, maybe she'll finally get the message." Maya studied his face. He looked genuinely desperate, and honestly, what did she have to lose? Her day couldn't get any worse, and $500 would cover her rent with money left over. "Okay," she said finally. "But I want the money up front." Alex's relief was palpable. He counted out 5 crisp $100 bills and handed them to her. "Thank you. You're literally saving my life right now." "What's the story?" Maya asked, tucking the money into her purse. "How long have we been dating? How did we meet?" "We've been together for 2 months," Alex said quickly, clearly having thought this through. "We met at a coffee shop. You spilled your latte on my laptop, and I asked you out while you were apologizing." "Cute," Maya admitted. "What do you do for work?" "I run a tech startup." "You..." Maya hesitated. "I'm between jobs right now. But I was in marketing." Alex nodded. "Perfect. Ready?" Maya took a deep breath and slipped her hand into his. His palm was warm and slightly rough, and she tried to ignore the little flutter in her stomach when his fingers closed around hers. "Ready?" They walked back into the ballroom together, and Maya was immediately struck by how elegant everything was. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light over tables draped in ivory silk, and the guests were clearly the type of people who considered champagne a food group. "There she is," Alex murmured, nodding toward a stunning blonde woman in a rose-gold dress, who was heading straight for them with the determination of a heat-seeking missile. "Alex," the woman called out, her voice carrying across the room. "I've been looking everywhere for you." "Showtime," Alex whispered, then turned to greet his ex with a smile that looked genuine, even though Maya could feel the tension in his grip. "Hi Victoria. You look beautiful." Victoria's smile faltered slightly when she noticed Maya. "Oh, I didn't realize you were bringing a date." "Victoria, I'd like you to meet Maya Rodriguez," Alex said, his arm sliding around Maya's waist in a gesture that felt surprisingly natural. "Maya, this is Victoria Hartwell. We used to be engaged." "Used to be is right," Victoria said with a laugh that didn't reach her eyes. "Though I've been hoping we could talk about that. I've had time to think about our fight, and I realize I may have been too hasty." Maya felt Alex's fingers tighten slightly on her waist. Victoria, I don't think. I mean, everyone has cold feet before a wedding, Victoria continued, stepping closer. It's completely normal. We were together for 3 years. Alex, that has to mean something. Maya could practically feel the awkwardness radiating from Alex. This was clearly not going as planned. Victoria was acting like Maya wasn't even there, which was pretty rude, but also made Maya feel oddly protective of the man who'd hired her for this bizarre favor. It does mean something, Maya found herself saying, her voice sweet but with an edge of steel. It means you two learned you weren't right for each other, which is why Alex is with me now. Victoria's eyes snapped to Maya, really seeing her for the first time. And you are his girlfriend, Maya said simply, then looked up at Alex with what she hoped was an appropriately adoring expression. The one who makes him laugh every day and supports his dreams instead of trying to change him. Alex looked down at her with surprise and something that might have been genuine admiration. Maya's amazing, he said, and his voice held a warmth that didn't sound entirely fake. She's brilliant and funny and completely understands my work. How long have you been together? Victoria asked, her tone sharpening. 2 months, Maya replied before Alex could answer. But it feels like we've known each other forever. You know how it is when you meet the right person. Victoria's perfectly applied makeup couldn't hide the flush creeping up her neck. 2 months, that's hardly any time at all. Alex, you can't possibly know if this is serious. Actually, Alex said, his arm tightening around Maya, I've never been more sure of anything in my life. The conviction in his voice surprised Maya. He was either a very good actor, or he was getting caught up in their performance. Either way, the look he gave her made her pulse quicken. I should get back to the bride and groom, Victoria said stiffly. Enjoy your evening. As she walked away, Maya and Alex stood in silence for a moment, watching her retreat. Well, Maya said finally, that was intense. You were incredible, Alex said, turning to face her fully. The way you handled her. I don't think anyone's ever stood up for me like that. Maya felt heat rise in her cheeks. She was being rude. I don't like bullies. Is it weird that I'm actually disappointed our 3 minutes are up? Maya looked up at him, surprised by the genuine regret in his voice. A little. Would you like to dance? Alex asked suddenly. I mean, we're here. The band is good, and I promise I won't step on your feet. Maya hesitated. The smart thing would be to leave now, before whatever this was between them got complicated. But Alex was looking at her like she was the most interesting person in the room. And it had been a long time since anyone had looked at her like that. One dance, she said. Alex's smile was brilliant. One dance. He led her to the dance floor, where other couples were swaying to a slow jazz number. When Alex pulled her into his arms, Maya was struck by how perfectly she fit against him. How natural it felt to rest her hand on his shoulder, while his settled at the small of her back. So, she said as they began to move together, tech startup, huh? What kind? App development. We create productivity tools for small businesses. Alex's voice was warm near her ear. What kind of marketing did you do? Maya hesitated. Digital marketing for a small firm. But I was let go today, actually, budget cuts. I'm sorry. That's rough. It's okay. I wasn't really happy there anyway. Maya was surprised by how easy it was to talk to him. I've been thinking about freelancing, maybe starting my own consultancy. You should. If tonight is any indication, you're incredibly good at reading people and situations. They danced in comfortable silence for a few moments, and Maya found herself relaxing into the rhythm of the music and the warmth of Alex's embrace. She couldn't remember the last time she'd felt so at ease with someone she'd just met. Can I ask you something? Alex said eventually. Sure. Why did you agree to help me? I mean, besides the money, you could have just walked away. Maya considered the question. You looked desperate but not dangerous. And honestly, you were polite about it. You asked instead of demanding, and you offered to pay me fairly for my time. That says something about your character. What does it say? That you're probably a good guy who got himself into a situation he didn't know how to handle. Alex was quiet for a moment. Victoria wasn't wrong, you know. About the cold feet. I did get scared before our wedding. But not for the reasons she thinks. What reasons? I realized I was about to marry someone I didn't actually like very much. We looked good together on paper, Our families approved, but we didn't have anything real. No connection, no shared values, no genuine affection. I was settling, and so was she. The song ended, but neither of them moved apart. That must have been a difficult realization. It was. But seeing her tonight, especially after meeting you. Alex paused, looking directly into Maya's eyes. I think I made the right choice. Maya's heart did a little flip. Alex, I know this is crazy, he said quickly. We've known each other for 20 minutes. But would you maybe like to have dinner sometime? A real date, not a fake relationship emergency. Maya studied his face, looking for signs that this was just adrenaline or gratitude talking. But his expression was sincere, hopeful, and completely focused on her. I'd like that, she said softly. Alex's smile could have powered the entire hotel. Really, really. But I have one condition. Anything. Next time you need to escape an awkward situation, just call me. No payment required. Alex laughed, the sound rich and genuine. Deal. Though I have to warn you, my life is usually much more boring than this. Good, Maya said. I could use some boring after today. As they finally stepped apart, Alex pulled out his phone. Can I get your number? Your real number, not just for emergencies. Maya rattled off her digits, watching as he entered them into his contacts. When he handed her his phone to double-check, she noticed he'd already changed her contact name from fake girlfriend Maya to just Maya the real deal. Optimistic, she commented, handing the phone back. Hopeful, Alex corrected. There's a difference. As they walked toward the exit together, Maya couldn't help but smile. She'd started the day unemployed and discouraged, but she was ending it with $500 in her purse and a date with a man who made her laugh and stood up for her, against his intimidating ex-fiancé. So, Alex said as they reached the hotel lobby, dinner tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Maya confirmed. When Alex leaned down to kiss her cheek goodbye, Maya felt that flutter in her stomach again, stronger this time. Maybe fake relationships turning real only happened in movies. But as she watched Alex walk away with a promise to call her in the morning, Maya thought that maybe, just maybe, the best things in life really did come when you least expected them. 3 minutes had turned into 20, and 20 minutes had turned into something that felt like the beginning of forever.